For number 15, we want to write the equation of a line that is parallel to the given equation, which is y equals negative x plus 8, and goes through the given point. So this is going to be my x1 and my y1. And I need to figure out what is the slope of this equation. Now the slope we can see is negative 1. So the slope of this equation is negative 1. And if I want my line to be parallel to this line, I have to use the same slope when I write my new equation. So I'm going to use the same slope, m equals negative 1. So I'm going to plug it into my y minus y1, which is 5, equals m, which is negative 1, times x minus a negative 2, so that's x plus 2. Now I distribute my negative 1 through. So y minus 5 equals negative x minus 2. Add 5 to both sides. And my answer is y equals negative x plus 3. So what I have now is an equation that's parallel to this equation because they have the same slope but different y-intercepts, and this line goes through this point. Okay, number 16. So this is my x1 and my y1. I want my equation to be, I want my line to be parallel to this line. So I need to use the same slope that this one has. The slope is 3/2, so I'm also going to use 3/2 for my slope to write my new equation. So I'm going to plug it in. I have y subtract 0 equals 3/2 parentheses x subtract 10. Now y subtract 0 is just 0. So, y subtract 0 is y. Distribute the 3/2 through, so I have 3/2 x minus 15. So once again, this line is parallel to this line because they have the same slope and different y-intercepts, and this line goes through this point. Number 17, the equation is y equals 5x subtract 9. I'm going to give you just a few seconds to figure out what slope are you going to use. What is the slope that you're going to use to write the equation of this line? Okay, you should have picked m equals 5 for your slope. Because this equation has a slope of 5, we want to use our slope of 5 so that they're parallel. So I'm going to plug this in. So y subtract 3 equals 5 times x minus a negative 4, which is x plus 4. Now we want to distribute our 5 through. So y subtract 3 equals 5x plus 20. Add 3 to both sides, so our answer is y equals 5x plus 23. This equation is parallel to this equation because they have the same slopes but different y-intercepts, and this equation goes through that point, negative 4, 3. Okay, here's number 18. I'm going to let you try this one by yourself. All right, we have our x1, y1. You should have decided that your slope that you're going to use is 2, because that's the same slope in this equation. So we have y minus a negative 3, so that's y plus 3, equals, then we have 2 parenthesis x minus 1. Close that up. Distribute the 2 through. Y plus 3 equals 2x minus 2. Subtract 3 from both sides, and our equation is y equals 2x subtract 5. Okay, number 19. I'll give you a minute to do this one. Okay, you should have decided to use the slope 3/2 to make this parallel to the given equation. So we're going to put in, we're going to plug this in as y subtract 0 equals 3/2 parenthesis x subtract 8. Distribute the 3/2 through. Now y minus 0 is y equals 3/2 x minus 3/2 of 8 is 12. So is our answer for 19.
Okay, for number 20, we have to write the equation of a line that is parallel to the line x equals negative 7. So the first thing we need to do is figure out what kind of line this is. Since there's only an x, that means it goes through the x-axis. And so if you think about what that looks like, it's going to be vertical. So it's going to go through the x-axis. And actually it says it's going to go through at negative 7. So if you come over here to negative 7, that's what that looks like. So anything parallel will also have the same slopes. This slope is undefined, and so any other line is going to have a slope that's undefined if it's going to be parallel. So that means that the equation is going to be x equals something. So whenever we have a vertical line that has an undefined slope, the way we write the equation is x equals, and then if you just look at this point, that's what it's going to be equal to, because I want it to go through the x-axis at 9. And so it's going to look like that.
Okay, now for 21, this time we're doing perpendicular to the given line. And I can see that my slope is 2 on this one. I need my slope to be perpendicular to this one. So to be perpendicular, it has to be the opposite reciprocal. So if this is a positive slope, the one I'm going to use is a negative slope. This is 2 over 1. My reciprocal is 1 over 2. So the slope I'm going to use is negative 1/2. Here's my x1, y1. So I'm going to plug that in. Y minus 1 equals negative 1/2 parenthesis x minus 4. Distribute the negative 1/2 through. Y minus 1 equals negative 1/2 x plus 2. Add 1 to both sides, and we get y equals negative 1/2 x plus 3. Now what I have is this line is perpendicular to this one because their slopes are opposite reciprocals, and this line goes through this point.
For number 22, we want the equation of a line that is perpendicular to the line y equals 5. So here again, noticing that this only has a y, it doesn't have an x. Think about what that looks like. It goes through the y-axis at 5. And so it's going to be a horizontal line. That has a slope of 0. So anything perpendicular is going to be a vertical line. So something like that. And so that's going to be an undefined slope. So we need something with an undefined slope. So an undefined slope is a vertical line. It goes through the x-axis. So my equation will be x equals. And in order to figure out what x is going to equal, I look at what I've been given, and it says it has to go through the point 6, -4. So if you come over here to 6, -4, it's going to go through that point. And so it's going to be x equals 6. So you can just take that number and put it right in there. So the answer to number 22 is the equation is x equals 6.
Okay, I'm going to let you try 23 now. Let me give you a minute to do that one. Okay, well for 23, if the slope of this line is 3/2, the slope that's going to be perpendicular to that needs to be the opposite reciprocal. This one's positive, so what I'm going to use is negative. If this is 3/2, the reciprocal is 2/3. So the slope I'm going to use is -2/3. So plug it in. I have y minus a -2, which is y plus 2, equals -2/3 parenthesis x subtract 3. We're going to distribute that -2/3 through. So y plus 2 equals -2/3 x plus 2. Subtract 2 from both sides. So my answer is y equals -2/3 x. Okay, 24, go ahead and try that one. The equation is y equals -4x plus 15. All right, on this one, this slope is a -4. If this is a negative, I need my slope to be positive, to be opposite. Then reciprocals, I have 4/1, so this is going to be a 1/4. So the slope I'm going to use is going to be a positive 1/4. -4/1 and 1/4 are opposite reciprocals. Now I'm going to plug this in. Y subtract 1 equals 1/4 times x minus a -12, which is x plus 12. Distribute the 1/4 through. Y minus 1 equals 1/4 x plus a fourth of 12 is 3. Now we're going to add 1 to both sides, and we get y equals 1/4 x plus 4.
Okay, for 25, we need an equation of a line that is perpendicular to x equals -6. So if you think about what this looks like, it's a special line because it only has an x. So it goes through the x-axis at -6. So if I'm going to get a line that's perpendicular to that, it will be a horizontal line, and it's going to go through the point -13, so I have to keep going out here a little ways, and then 5, and so it's going to be going like this through that point. And so this horizontal line has a slope of 0, and it goes through the y-axis only. And so my equation is going to be y equals something, just a number. And so one way you can tell is because you know it's going to go through the y-axis up here at 5. This tells you also, so you can just write y equals 5. So the answer to 25 is the equation that is perpendicular would be y equals 5.
Okay, last problem, 26. y equals 1/8 x, subtract 5. Okay, the slope of this equation, y equals 1/8 x, subtract 5, is 1/8. Since this slope is positive, the slope I need to use should be negative. 1/8, the reciprocal of that is 8 over 1, which is the same thing as just 8. So 1/8 and negative 8 are opposite reciprocals. So now I'm going to plug this into my form. Y subtract 4 equals negative 8 times x minus a negative 6, which is x plus 6. Now we're going to distribute the negative 8 through. Y subtract 4 equals negative 8x minus 48. Add 4 to both sides, and we get y equals negative 8x minus 44.